They eat everything in the hive, even combs. Actually, they will eat the combs. So brood and pollen are sources of protein. Protein will make them lay eggs. So here, you don't really have winter, you always have pollen, and they're always rearing brood. So they will be laying eggs non-stop as long as they have this. Honey alone will not encourage them to lay eggs. Fruits, they also feed in fruits, and we don't really know yet if they will reproduce. They might reproduce, but they don't lay a lot, most likely here. And this is what we are trying to find out here. That's why I'm here, with working with Ethel. Pollen patties, I'm not sure if you use pollen patties. In the mainland, we use them during winter. And it's a good food for beetles during winter. So if you decide to use pollen patties, just use a small portion, just enough for them to consume within two days. If you put a big slab of pollen patty, then you will have this size of a small hive beetle is ready to pupate. It's ready to go out and leave the hive and find soil to pupate. The thing is, small hive beetles will lay eggs under these patties or even under the paper. So if they consume it right away, there's no place for them to lay eggs, and also there's no food for any hatch larvae. According to literature, they can detect colonies from 8 to 10 miles. That's of course, so they are active flyers. Mating only occurs inside the hive. And once they emerge, they can mate right away, and also they can lay eggs right after mating. With beetles, they normally, when they come out, they're already sexually mature. They will not come out not until they are sexually mature. So once they come out, they're ready to go. Of course, it depends on their the availability of food. As I've said earlier, honey alone will not encourage them to lay eggs. They have to have pollen, especially, and brood as sources of protein. Lifespan, according to literature, 5 days without food and water. Under lab conditions, it can range to 2 weeks to 6 months. That's according to literature. But what I found out, the last beetle died after 383 days. So that's more than a year. Not 6 months.
That's without water or food?
I fed these beetles with honey solution, 50% honey and 50% water. Yeah. I was just, with this experiment that I did, I was looking for a way to mark them. So I notched the thorax of beetles, and I marked them with glue and chalk. This is what this data is all about. But the last notched beetle died 383 days. So that's pretty long. They can also develop without soil. See, this is, in this particular experiment, I only use moist paper towel. And as you can see here, we have different stages. The wandering larvae, the pupae, and then we have adults. But I only got a few adults. Most of the pupae died because of it's too moist for them. There are 2 recommended control measures for controlling small hive beetles. Of course, this is the corrugated cardboard. Be sure if you decide to use camouflage, this corrugated plastic, be sure that this strip, you cut it in half and staple it. Be sure that it will cover the whole width. This is contact, yes. They have to touch this strip. The beetles will walk through here without touching it and go hide here. So you will see a lot of live ones hiding here if you don't, either you put a wood here and another piece of wood there so that they will force to touch the camouflage. Another way of controlling them is using guard star. I haven't really used guard star. I don't really treat my colonies. I don't use even the camouflage, but these are the two recommended ones. So I have to say this too. But I don't really know how effective this is. In here, it's always raining, so applying guard star into the soil is probably pretty useless because it will just go straight, so your money is gone too without controlling them. I've looked at the effect of pine straw. I use pine straw in this particular experiment, and also different kind of landscape mulches in their pupation. Look at the pupation success, but it didn't really work. So I don't know if fresh materials are better. As I've said earlier, I'm a member of the Russian team, so I also monitor them for small hive beetle population. In this particular experiment, we were removing beetles. Every time we go through the colonies, we remove them. So in each observation, there are new invaders of the colony. We started with the packages, and it took a while before it went up. It doesn't really explode. In my colonies, I don't see what you're seeing here. That it's just in 2 weeks you lost your colony. If you see larvae on the bottom board, just torch them. Dr. Ellis and Dr. Hood tried an modifying entrance. These are PVC pipes, but one study put it at the middle of the box, and the other one is just above the bottom board. And they didn't really get good results. It's very inconsistent, and they had a problem in brood production. It's not good for brood production. And also, there's a great accumulation. They use solid bottom board. So a lot of debris accumulated at the bottom. So that's where beetles will reproduce because the pollen will drop there, dead bees will be there. So it's perfect for small hive beetles to reproduce there. And also, if it rains, drainage is a big problem here. So we did another test, but using the wooden, but this is the regular entrance reducers here. And yes, we found a difference. Those colonies without entrance reducers have more beetles than those that have entrance reducers. It's probably because you're reducing the area that the guard bees is patrolling. So if they are aggressive, then they can be aggressive to the invading small hive beetles. The traps, there are different types of designs of traps now available. I've seen more here actually than in the mainland. So it's a learning process. Yeah, I haven't really used this. I tried this once at the lab. I tried this, and I've tried this too. I haven't really tried this three here. When I tried this once, I baited it with the fermenting pollen dough, and the beetles laid eggs around here. I've used a small hive, this hood trap. Now Dr. Hood is recommending that you raise this here. You put it somewhere here to be more effective. I like this. Among the three, I like this one. The more you go through your colony, if you have a bottom board trap, normally small hive beetles are hiding on empty frames on top, on the at the edges of your bars, and if you crack that lid open, the beetles will just go berserk. They want to find a place to hide, and some of them will just drop on the oil. And you collect, you trap more beetles.
Doctor, but I've had good success with the beetle blaster with the oil in it, and I have the beetle blaster and the AG. I have both, and I've had great success with the beetle blaster.
Lab in Gainesville, the USDA chemistry lab there came up with this PVC pipe hole trap. This is meant for outside trap. So this is a good idea because you are capturing beetles outside rather than inside before they infest your colonies. And when they developed this, they were only using the black one. So they sent me some traps, and they also developed the bait for this, and they're using fermented pollen dough. They isolated a yeast, the Dichotomea omeri, from beetles, and that's what they're using to ferment pollen patties, and that's the bait for these traps. So I decided to look at if there's the height that they like, that catch more beetles, and also what color, is there an effect of color? These are the components here. As I've said, this is the fermenting pollen dough that, because of this yeast that they found causing this to ferment. The 2 vials of water is just to maintain moisture of the pollen dough, and this is the vapor tape just to kill all the beetles that will get in. The beetles will get in through this screen, and there's a funnel, screen funnel here, so they cannot get out actually, but just in case, the vapor tape will kill them as soon as they enter. To summarize the experiment though, we found out that if you put the particular trap at the same height as the entrance of the hive, we caught more, and the white one caught more than the black one. So, but again, we were not really, this is again the average of 14 months. This is including winter, and they are not active, they're not flying during winter.